Here is Chapter 5, The Snake and the Mirror by Waiqam Muhammad Bashir. Do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? I guess everyone likes to look at his own reflection. What do you think about at such times? Might be about our looks, might be about our getup, our dress. Have you ever seen a dog, a cat, or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? Now read this humorous story, funny, comic, about a doctor, a snake, and a mirror. But, before we begin, just let me know how often do you look at your own reflection into the mirror and what do you think at the time? Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? Coiled is wrapped in continuous rings. A full-blooded cobra, not a mixed breed but a pure breed of cobra. All of us fell silent. Us refers to the narrator and his friends. The question came from the homeopath. Homeopath is a homeopathic doctor. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Tale means story. Now from the next paragraph, the narrator changes and he is the homeopath. So here we have a narrative within a narrative. The narrator started, but here he starts telling us about an homeopath who had his own story to tell. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. The homeopath, the doctor, is the speaker. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. But he did not pay much attention, he just ignored as the sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. That means the doctor's room was infested with rats. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table, so no electricity. The house was not electrified. There was no electricity connection. It was a small rented room, so the doctor lived in a rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager, quite small. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis I also possessed. He had one solitary alone black coat which he was wearing at that time. So the doctor was not well off. He was not well heeled. I took off my black coat, white shirt and not so white vest and hung them up as it was a hot summer night. Besides that, the house was not electrified. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard, the open area of the house. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. Gable is the triangular part of a wall which is generally ornamental. There was no ceiling. Why? Because there was a gable. That means the roof of the room was pitched roof. The room had sloping roof. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. Beam is the horizontal support. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. He got ready to sleep. I lay down. Lay is second form of lie. But I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air. So why was he unable to sleep? Because of the hot weather. But the wind god seemed to have taken time off. Even wind was not blowing at the time. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. So he thought of utilizing his time. I opened the box beneath under the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. So there was a lamp and a large mirror placed on the table. A small comb lay beside the mirror, which is not an unusual thing. And now we are going to meet in the next module to see how much the doctor studies from this book Materia Medica. Thank you for being with me.